So I've had a few questions about this container, and thought I'd make a quick video and answer some of those questions and talk a little bit about why we chose a shipping container and kind of how we got it up here and all the decisions we made around bringing this onto the property. In our tour video, we mentioned bringing a storage container in because we needed a quick way to store our stuff on the property, because we had to sell our other house to buy this property, and we didn't want to store our stuff in like a self-storage unit that we had to go back and forth to all the time, because it's the closest one's kind of far away. And so I looked at options like, well, can we build a shed? And that would have taken too long. And can we buy a pre-built shed? Well, the ones that would have been big enough to hold all the stuff we needed to hold would have cost twice as much as what one of these cost. I ended up getting one of these because you can find them for about $1 a cubic foot delivered if you shop around, and you know, in good condition. These are all steel, lockable doors, weather tight. They have plywood floors. They're just kind of a perfect solution to short-term storage or even long-term storage, and you can convert them into whatever you want to later. I can take two of these 40-foot containers side by side and put some trusses on top and make a roof and make a building, you know, an equipment shed or a place for a sawmill or whatever I want to do. And then I have storage for finished boards or whatever. And I may end up doing that. So I went with a 40-foot high cube. It's called a high cube because it's 9 foot 6 inches tall, as opposed to like the 8-foot tall ones that are the standard size. And they cost a little bit more, but it's worth it to me because I can build taller shelves and store more stuff. And what I like about them: solid steel, weather tight, like I said, and very secure. They're easy to set up in terms of you don't have to have a foundation. You can just set pressure treated beams underneath, and all you have to do is support the four corners. You don't have to run a perimeter foundation underneath it, because these things stack on cargo ships and the load bearing points are on the corners, top and bottom, which is great. You just take a chunk of, say, 6x6 pressure treated and put one on each corner and you're in business. Get it up off the ground so you get some airflow underneath, and then this is level this way but has a tilt this way, so it would drain if it doesn't get any water. If the doors are open, it rains, water won't go into it. And it holds all of our household stuff and all of my tools and equipment and things like that. And so I'm kind of in the process over this next couple days trying to get this thing organized, because when we moved here, we hurried to get this up to the property, and then we hurried to get it stuffed with all of our stuff so that we could get out of our house, because we had you know, the buyers needed to move into our house. So we just scrambled and got this stuff in here, and now I'm having to go through and get everything organized and set up the way I want it. I will probably run power to it and just run it off a small generator, and you know, run all my tools and whatnot, whatever I need to do. I got a bunch of LED shop lights I'll put in here. As I do that, I'll take you along and show you kind of what I'm doing to it. Later, when I don't need this anymore for a shop, I can either bury it into the side of the hill as a bunker or a root cellar, or as I said, I can get another one and make an equipment shed out of it, which is what I may do. So I'm going to show you some footage of how we got this thing up here. So it was pretty much a minor challenge to get this up the mountain, but I found a guy who said I'm crazy enough to try. So we managed to get it up the hill, and our biggest challenge was actually getting it into our driveway, because there's kind of a turn, and the tractor trailer he had, all of the weight, there's no weight on it, so he couldn't get any traction. And trying to make that turn to back this thing up to the driveway and into this little clearing, we tried at least 24 times to make that turn and get backed up in here, and I finally had to just hook up the back of it to my truck and 4-wheel drive and just yank it up the hill, and we got her in here, got it set down, smooth as butter after that.
Let's cross our fingers we can get it up here, guys, because this is a big thing. We need to get this up here. Little bit of a conundrum here, huh?
Huh?
Little bit of a conundrum here, huh?
Oh yeah, 2 bush cut.
So close though.
That's great.
Cross your fingers, girl. Bend your toes. There's a tree in the way. There's a tree. All right, here we go. Let's see. I think he's got it. So close. Not there yet, guys, but close.
Named Roscoe.
That's a cute dog.
Hard part's over, my friend. Appreciate it.
they eat ham. I can't believe you guys got that up there. Did you hear me about the soup? I have 2 quarts of soup for these boys. If they eat it.
And so that's the story of the container. So when I knew I was gonna get a shipping container and not go with a shed or a pre-built building or any of that other stuff, I started looking around and considered a 20-foot container. Then I considered getting 2 20-foot containers, and I immediately said, we're not going to do that. My problem was I didn't know if I could get a 40-foot container down this windy road that we live on. So I went down the road and took the pole saw and trimmed out all the trees and overhanging branches and kind of cleared a path for this truck to get this container back here. And I'm glad I went with the 40-foot. I'm glad I went with the high cube. There's that extra couple feet or 1.5 feet of space at the top is really, really good, really worth it. You know, as they say, when you build a shop, you build it as big as you think you'll need, and then you always need more. Same with a barn. This thing's full, and once I get it organized, it'll be a little easier to move around in, but I'm glad I got the big one. So I would recommend, if anybody's considering getting a shipping container, get the biggest one you can. And that's kind of it. Like I said, they're about $1 a cubic foot. If you shop around, you can probably get a little bit better deal. Ones that are single trip containers, meaning they've come from overseas to here and then they're sold to the secondary market, those are a lot more expensive because they're brand new. This one has taken multiple trips overseas, so it's considered a used container. It's a little bit cheaper. And then there are ones that are just kind of beat up, and stay away from those. I would stick with either used or single trip containers. You know, you can insulate the inside of these with spray foam. You can frame inside of it and build walls and do all kinds of things. I'm sure you've seen all that kind of stuff on the internet. You can run power to it. You can get extra vents. They come with vents, little vents on the side, but you can get extra ones. And you can turn them into a house or whatever you want to do. Mine's just going to be storage in a shop. So that's all for that. That's our container for our storage, and we'll see you in the next video.